let's get into now the pound for pound conversation because everyone's been talking about it. Who should be in the pound for pound number one spot? Who shouldn't be?
Who cares?
I agree with you. And like I said, this is really just kind of the media and people making something of nothing. But when I look at this, and I know people are going to probably say that I'm biased, and I'm not going to say that I do lean obviously a lot towards Islam. But when I look at this, Alex did something, Volkanovski did something that not a lot of people would have tried. Or people talk about trying but they never follow through.
Yeah.
So in that situation, he wanted to come up to 155 and get it done. The bottom line is he didn't get it done. That person now, everyone's like, oh, well, he was a smaller guy. You got to take that out of the equation.
He's not the smaller guy. He was a lightweight.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. You got to take that out of the equation because it's like saying it's like a fighter who took a fight on short notice and saying, oh, well, I only had a week or two to train. No. Once you took that fight, you decided that you were in good enough shape to win. Otherwise, why did you take the fight? You can't use that as an excuse. Now, I thought he fought his ass off. I think he is fucking fantastic. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch. Hands down, one of my favorite fighters to watch. Doubt. But when you go up and you challenge somebody at a heavier weight class and you come up short, you lose your spot to them. You tried. Now, if he would have stayed at the 45 and fought, whether it was Josh Emmett or Yair or whoever, and got the win there, he would still be there. And I think that Islam would still be at number 2. That's how it would have worked out. But when you came up and then you lost to that fighter, you've got to put all the other stuff aside. That's not how these ratings work. That's not how these rankings work. Look, you went up, you tried, you didn't get it done. Now it switches, but you're not going anywhere. He's number 1, number 2 now. It's still the same. Yeah. You just flip flop. That's really what it came down to.
First off, how much does he make for being the pound for pound number 1?
Nothing. Big fat goose egg.
That's why it doesn't matter. Exactly what you're saying. This is the number 1 in this is based upon what the reporter thought of the fight and who they thought won. Go back and watch it. I was watching Joe Rogan, was not part of the broadcast team, but he did his fight companion and he had his normal guys, Eddie Bravo and Brendan was there and Brian.
By the way,
Fallon.
It was great. It was great seeing them all together again.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
And so, but they all picked Volkanovski. Now they're all drinking, right? They're all fucking doing things that, you're not supposed to be doing while judging, but they all picked Volkanovski. Then they get together the next day and they go, yeah, maybe we got that wrong. And it's like, hey, you can. And a lot of it is based upon, you saw these moments with Volkanovski. And again, this is where, it didn't work in the same way. But that rise of that crowd, the crowd in Perth was loud. Yeah. And they were there for Alexander Volkanovski, and they should have been. And that was awesome. And every time he did something, you heard, and it started to go, right? Well, that influences everybody to a point. The judges didn't get influenced by it. They watched what punches were landing, what was having effect. And that's the big thing. These people are all, I don't care who touches who more. I care about who affects the fighter in the fight more, who does the more damaging shots, who does the things that creates the situations that can end the fight. When I love the people, what is it, the 4th round, I think it was, where Islam gets his back, puts in a body triangle, and you see Volkanovski is talking to him, and that's great. Volkanovski can do that, and he's throwing his hand back with the punches. Anybody who sits there and thinks that Volkanovski won that round, do me a favor, stop watching MMA. Yeah. Okay? Because punching backwards is annoying. It's not damaging. It's not effective. Okay? The person that's attempting to get the chokehold, the person that's attempting to do a submission is always going to get more than the person throwing back, because the throwing back is basically useless. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't damage. And so if all you see is the person on the back, we'll say what we call a seatbelt, and he's holding on and not ever attempting anything, then yeah, the punches are going to win because at least it's attempting something. And other than that, that's not effective striking. Remember what the terminology is. Effective striking. That's not.
Well, it's not even so much the effective striking. It's that you're in a finishing position from the back. When someone's on mount or someone's on the back, it's going to be very rare, because I had someone on Twitter ask me, like, why didn't they stand them up? I said, that is a finishing position.
Stop!
You're not standing somebody up from the
it is
mount
not
or the back.
the referee's job to be someone who's unfair. Do people not get this? If someone has the back of their opponent, they are in a position to end the fight, while their opponent is in a position only to do one thing: survive, or number two, escape.
That's two things.
Okay? That's what I said. Or, that's why after I thought, as a referee, when I take that person out of that position, what I'm doing is saying, I want this guy to win. And I'm going to make this unfair. I'm going to be unfair to both of these guys. So I'm going to be unfair to the fans. And I'm going to make sure that this guy gets out of this position. You can't do that.
100% agree.